Okay. Now in today's this section, we are talking about procedure, stored procedure. Just a second. Stored procedure. Okay. So what is my criteria? I will start with very simple case studies. Okay. And one of the case study which I have just created. So a company wants to use a pipeline, ADF pipeline, to call a stored procedure. So company want to, use a stored procedure. Okay. That is defined in SQL database. And what this stored procedure does, we have a very simple sales data with us. Okay, and you can see this is the order data. So we have a order ID, order date, and we have sales amount. So this is the sales amount I'm having, correct? Now what I'm going to do, I want to create a summary of this order. Okay, and how to create the summary of this order? This will be defined in this stored procedure. So if you see the data, okay, uh, so I'm having this code. Let me show you the code as well. Fine. So you can see this. Okay, you can have this code. So I'm having a table which is known as order. So first of all, I will create a table. I will insert some records in it, right? And I will create the order summary table also. Now I will not insert any order summary table. And how this order summary table is getting calculated, it will calculate on the basis of some aggregation function which is known as sum. So what it is doing, it is trying to find out the total sales actually, right? So in case if this order is having multiple values, it will find out the total sales and it will insert the value within this order summary table. Okay, so let's do this very quickly. And we are going to just open our SQL database. Let me open the SQL database immediately, or you can go from here also. Let's quickly go from here and I can go to query editor. I can use my password. Just a second. Let me see if I'm able to log in. Yes, I can log in. Okay. Okay. So what is our first step? First step is we should create the table for the order simply. The table should be there in the database. And if you want, you can load this table through Excel also. CSV, you know how to load the table in SQL, how to create the table entry there. But I am just directly creating the order table here, right? And okay, okay, there is a problem with this one. Okay, so this is the updated one. Okay, so let me correct some of the codes as well. Orders. Okay, okay, let me. You know why it is creating a problem earlier? Because order is a keyword, right? What is happening? Order is not a. You cannot take order as a table name because it's a keyword. That's why it is coming as blue in color. Okay, so you need to replace the order. I did not realize it earlier. Okay, with orders. So if you at the moment you put S because it's not a keyword, you can give the replace all. Oh my God, it has replaced this also. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, I should make this thing corrected. Sorry. So I have to remove one S, replace all. So two occurrence. Okay, fine. Now this is looking better, right? So let me create this table immediately in my SQLDB. Here is my SQLDB, and I'm going to create this table. Okay. So this is again a 2S. I think here also I kept Yes. Fine. So I will hit on run and this has created, this table is created. Now it's a time to enter some data within this table. Okay, so let me hit on this insert value. So these are the randoms number I have generated. Okay, and here we have some problem once again. So this should not be S, this should not be S. So I think here also, I need to make it remote. Okay. So now I can hit on run. So 14 entries got recorded. If you want to check the data, you can check that out. Sorry. Check what I will do. Select star from orders. Done. Okay. So you can see all the entries are there. Fine. Now coming to the second thing is we want to create a summary table, order summary table, but the data within the summary table will be updated based on my stored procedure. Okay, so we can just hit on this create summary table, order summary table, right? And we have actually three columns over there: order date, total sales, and total orders, right? This S should be single one. Fine. Total number of orders for the day. Okay, so we can hit on this run, but again this is not this is created but not having any data. If you want to check, you can just select a star from order summary, right? So we don't have any data for this order summary. Okay, now you can see zero records. Now the next thing is we have to create a procedure. So these commands are very basic. This is what you have to understood. How we can create a procedure using SQL. So create procedure is a command to create a procedure, and the name of the procedure is update order summary. This is the name of the procedure we are giving. Okay. Now we have two parameters. So whenever we use a parameter at the procedure level, we use at the rate. So at the rate start date and end date. So this start and end date I will give to this procedure the same way we are giving to pipeline, right? When we are creating any parameter, we are giving that value of the parameter to the pipeline. Okay. Same way we are giving value of what is the start date and what is the end date from where we want to create a summary. For example, I'm in my table, I'm having, 1 million records. So are you want to create a summary for entire 1 million? The answer is no, because this 1 million is not only specific to, it is specific to last 5 years, but you want to summarize the data only for 1 month, today's month, right? Today is January. We are starting the month of January, so we can give the start date for January is 1st Jan and end date as 31st January, right? So what we can do, we can begin our procedure and we can say clear the summary table. So whatever summary table we are having, so in current scenario I am not having any data within the summary table, but if in case it was having the data, it will first delete the entries from this summary table, and what it will do, it will aggregate the data. You have already seen the aggregation functions in the data flow, right? The same thing it is doing insert into order summary table. So whatever values, first it will insert in this order summary table, and what it will insert, this order summary table is having three columns. We have order date, total sales, and total orders, correct? So again, should be S. Okay. Select, and how it will insert, it will select based on order date as a date. Okay. Why it is using cast? Because order date we have, for example, if we have used string, okay, then it will use a cast option to convert this string into date. But right now I think we have already used but better to use cast as a order date. And sum you already know how to do. We are summing the sales column, sales amount as a total sales, and the second one, we are counting everything as total sales order. So I have done a lot of mistakes over here. I'm just correcting it. Okay, I have added by mistakenly double S from orders. So from this table, this is nothing but a aggregation function. So as soon as you are well versed with the SQL programming, right, you would be able to design this logic, and it is saying where clause. It is having where clause also, like orders date between. It should be between your parameter value, start date and end date, and group by should be based on the date. Okay, and it should also print this like this. Order summary updated successfully. It should give you this message also, right? So this is your procedure. So what you're going to do? You are going to create this procedure here in the SQL DB. Okay, okay, and just hit on run, and you can see it is successfully created. So whatever procedure you have created, you would be able to see here. Okay, correct. So for example, if you again run this, it will throw an error, fail to exit, because it is already there. It is saying this is already an object available in the database, right? So you can create only one procedure for one name. Okay. Okay, fine. So our procedure is ready. Now, how to use this procedure in our data factory pipeline? Okay, this is the concept. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply create a new pipeline, and I will use this PL underscore SP. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit on this procedure, stored procedure. Okay, and here you can see this is self-explanatory. However, we can give the name of the stored procedure. So you can give the stored procedure update summary, update order summary, something like that. We can name, right? Update order summary, correct? And this is for updating, or you can say generating the table containing order summaries, right? It looks very informative if you're giving these kind of description, because it is required during the real-time environment. So timeout, again the same concept whereas we have discussed. So it will wait for another 12 hours. You can change this also. We have retry attempt also. If you want to give, otherwise it will be zero, the number of second between each retry, right? Anyways, we are directly jumping to this setting. So obviously this is stored procedure is created in SQL database, right? So we need to connect with the SQL database. So that's why we are giving a link services for SQL database. Okay. Then inside this SQL database, you would be able to see all the stored procedures. So we know that in our SQL database, only one stored procedure we have created. If we have number of stored procedure, then also we would be able to see those lists. So I have selected my stored procedure here, correct? Then we have if you don't have stored procedure, you can create enter manually also, right? But right now we don't have anything, right? You can create a stored procedure parameter. So basically, first of all, you should know that if your stored procedure is you know uh, is using the parameter or not. So it is using the parameter. What is the name of the parameter? Start date. So you have to copy exactly the same date. Okay. And what you can do, you can hit on new, and you can give, okay, if you want to expand, just expand it. You have to give the same name, start date. You don't have to change. Then you can give the volume value as a date, right? Date and time, because it is of type date only, correct? Okay, and you can give the value also of the date and time. Okay, uh, so you can check what is the format of the date. Okay, the format of the date that you have given in the query. Okay, let me check the data once. Anyways, let's create the new, first of all, the another parameter and date. Okay, and let's give the date and time. And for giving the value, we should first write this select query. select a star from orders because it will take the data from orders only, right? So you can see data is given in this one, right? So we have a data date till 13th of January. Imagine I only want for 1 week. Then what I will do? I will give start date as this and I will give start date. So, okay, just a second. Yeah. So you can see middle one is month, right? So let me add modify this as a 7, correct? So this is the default hard coded value I have given. Okay, that's it. So what we can do, we can hit on debugging this pipeline. So what activity it does? It will update the record. So our table is already there. Our table is already there. And what is the table? The table is order summaries is the table, right? So earlier the table entry was 0 for this table. Now after completion of this pipeline, there will be entry starting from first to, you can see it is successful, right? So what I should do, I should run this query and I can see the data is updated. But data is updated only for 1 week, you can see. And this is the summary. It means that this 1st January, we have two orders. So there will be two records for 1st January. That's why this is having total number of orders 2 and total sales is 300 because it has added the sales. If you want to check the data for 1st January, what you can do, select a star from just to validate the data. You can where you can say order dates, order date. Wait a moment. Let's first run this. Okay, where order date, you can see there are two entries, right? So two times this on order date we have two entries, so that's why order number is coming as 2 and we have this amount is summed as 300. Agreed? So this has done. Now imagine if I want to run, okay, but this date is hard coded. Nobody want to hard code this date. So what we can do, instead of hard coding this date, I can create a parameter at pipeline level and I can pass this date at a pipeline level, right? So in order to create a parameter at pipeline level, I will hit on this white canvas. I can create a parameter and I can create a parameter for, you know, enter start date, something like that. Uh, enter start date. Okay. And so no worries. Let's have this string only. Okay, it will handle. Okay, and what value we should do? We should give the value like 202501. Okay, 01, something like that. Default value is there, right? Another parameter I can say enter end date, enter end date. Okay, and I can give value like 2025 as 01 31. Okay, 31st December, right? Now this time what we should do, instead of giving a hard coded value, we can make it parameterized. And how to make it parameterized? We can hit on add dynamic content and we can hit on this add enter end date. But remember, this could produce an error. Why? Because the value is string, but here value expected is date, date and time, right? So we should always think about conversion function here, right? And what kind of conversion function we can use? We can use conversion function for date. Okay, or this is string type. So let me first check for the error. Let's see first error, then we will, make this thing converted. Okay, just a second. This is end date. Okay, let me check this out. So it will be successful. Why it is successful? Because in the default parameter, we have entered in a correct format. Okay. So this is done. So if you can see here, we can just run this and you can see we have data available for all the dates. If you want to see the count will be like 13. Sorry. So this has completed our procedure activity. Okay. So once again, we can check this is the pipeline and we can publish this pipeline. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.